Okay, so this is Freja, a text editor I've been working on, and I'm Saikyun, of course. What I'm going to do now is show a way to add more components to Freja. Freja is a programmable text editor. Imagine like Emacs, but instead of Control XS, you just hit Control S like a regular editor. So, first of all, I'm going to quickly show how one can draw something on the screen. But to do that, we can just write var_fn, draw frame, and then as argument we take delta time. And to make it super simple, we can just print something. And then I hit Control L, and you see it starts printing in the terminal. This isn't very exciting. So instead we try to draw a rectangle, and this API is the same as Raylib. So we could take Raylib sheet and check draw rectangle rec, for example. And the only difference is here we kebab case the function name. So we do, let's see, whoops. I want to get the chat window like that. There we go. We do draw rectangle rec and then a rectangle. Let's say at pixel x should be 600, y can be 160, width 500, height 350. And then we can write a keyword for the color. We could also do like a hex code like this, where the last numbers are the alpha value. So now I hit Control L and we get a rectangle. And play around with this, like putting a var for x, 600, then change x for the var x, and then each frame we do x plus plus, oh wait, plus plus x. There we go, and the rectangle moves. That's great. Now this draw frame function is mostly used to like really quickly draw something onto the screen. It's not very practical for handling, for example, key presses or mouse clicks. We could do this by just doing. What you'll see is that the text editor also takes this input. So when we do it this way, there's no way for the editor to say which thing has focus. So it just sends it to both, one can say. And the reason why it shows X rather than B is that I have Dvorak, so on my B key is X. We could write A instead here. And now if I hit A, it moves, but it also writes A. So what we want to do is hook into the event system. So I have a small event system for handling key presses. In order to interact with the event system, you currently have to redefine all event, how do I put it, like all subscriptions. So we can start by doing that, and then I'll show you what's a better idea to do. Let's see. For some reason I can't open. Oh, Alt this time. Let's open new menu.janet, and this is the code for the menu. And we go to the bottom. And here are all the subscriptions. So if we copy this to our file, here free, and let's see here, remove some code, then we can automatically format it with Control-Shift-F. Let's see here. And then we also need to do an import into FRP, which is where the event system is stored, essentially. So we do like this. I think this, yeah. Oh, let's see. Unknown. Oh, right. Can remove this for now. Now I just want to redo the still menu. Wait a second. Menu, remove that too, and maybe we should move this rectangle out of the way. Focus 1, 2, 3. Oh, we need state 2. Search state load. Draw search area. What's that? Oh, right. This is related to the menu. Anyway, we don't have to care about that right now. Menu again. There we go. Remove that. And now the menu should disappear. Yeah. So, what we do here is express all the subscriptions. So, for example, the text area reacts to mouse clicks. The search area up here. Let's see. Oh. Okay, something's going wrong. But anyway, I just want to describe the overall idea here is that you can have channels which you listen to, and then different functions or objects which handle like events coming in, like mouse clicks and keyboard presses. But having to redefine the whole tree is a bit too it's too messy. So what we're gonna start with is make it possible to add a single dependency or a subscription. So for example, what we want to do is to add something to FRP mouse, and in this case it could be prettyprint. So if I load this and now click, it will call prettyprint on the events. This is a pretty nice way to see what the events contain. In this case, it's like what the mouse does and at which position. So let's imagine, how would we want to do this? We don't want to write out all existing dependencies. This gets crazy. So instead we want a function called maybe subscribe, then a channel, let's say FRP mouse, and then a function to be called prettyprint. This is great. I'll keep this for now and put our subscribe call here. And now I load file, but we get an error because subscribe doesn't exist. So let's define subscribe. Subscribe, it takes a channel or perhaps an emitter if you want, like an event emitter, and then a callback. We can even write this. Take an event emitter, e.g. a channel, and a callback. Singularity, a callback, which is, for example, a singularity function. There we go. And now we can run this and we don't get a compilation error. So that's good, but this doesn't do anything. If we remove prettyprint here, we will see that nothing is happening when I click. I want it to print, Why doesn't it print? Because subscribe doesn't do anything. Okay, so how do we add a subscription? Well, we just say put, or rather update dependencies like this thing, and then emitter is the key, and now here we can put a function that will take this array, and we want to add callback to this array. So we just do array push callback. That's simple. Why didn't I do this before? Look, it works! Well, the reason I didn't do this before is if we call subscribe a couple of more times and now we click, we get too many events, or rather too many calls to the prettyprint function. So array push maybe wasn't the right choice here. What I would like to do is subscribe, but if the callback is already in the array, I want to remove it. So we will go through the array. If we find the callback already in the array, we replace that position of the array with the new callback, or new with the same callback. Or wait, we don't even have to add it. If it already exists in the array, we don't add it. That's better. And I think here we have a find function. Yeah, and so we can take dependencies emitter and call find callback. I think this maybe doesn't work. Maybe it needs it might be that find wants a predicate. We can find this out by writing doc find, control enter, and we'll see. It wants a predicate and then the indexed thing. So in this case, we could write something like find anonymous function equals callback. Just to try it, we do if something equals 1, we find it. And we found it. That's great. So in this case, we want to find, whoops, we want to find the callback, or maybe we don't care if we find it or not. We just want to not add it again. So we say when not, that's not a real function, in unless I'm too used to closure. Okay, unless we find the callback in the subscriptions, we add the subscription. So now I use load file now, which will replace all dependencies. So, oh wait, what? Oh, there we go. And now no subscription is done, so no pretty printing is done. Now we load this, and now it works. And now if I run this many times, I hope, yeah. So now we only have one listener. That's great. So now we can remove dependencies and all this junk. Load file again. And instead of writing dependencies here, we can write FRP /deps, I think is a thing. Yes, that is a thing. And FRP deps, the dependencies is stored in the FRP /deps.deps. And we do this here too. And we could even do update in FRP deps emitter, just cleaning up the code a little bit. So we do here, we do get in deps and emitter. Now compiles, so that's good. It prints, and even if I run this now many times, it only prints one time. Okay, so now we managed to make the subscribe function. That's great. I think I'm gonna move this into the FRP namespace instead, or namespace. It's just a file. There are no namespaces in Janet. So now I do this, and we open misc/frp4.janet. Then we go to the end, and here we add a subscribe function. Hopefully this will work. Yeah, right. Now we don't need to write frp/deps. We just need to write deps, because deps is up here. Okay, this seems to work. Now let's open free.janet. That's the file we were in. And now we have to write frp/subscribe. And now we press load. And it works. Great. Okay, so now that we have our better subscribe function, we want to make it so, let me think of it. What was I supposed to do? I wanted to be able to hit keys without writing stuff. So let's make a function var_fn move, or maybe like key callback. And here we get an event, and first of all just print the event, and then key callback, and not to FRP mouse but to FRP keyboard. I think this is the right one. Yeah, now it prints. The thing now is that if I hit a key, it will send it to key callback and to key down. It will send it to key callback and the text area here. In order to prevent something from being propagated, we add a call to push callback. Let's see. And the way we do this is this. Let's see if this works. That didn't do it. Let's see, I'm gonna try reloading this. It still sends to both. I have to check new menu. Push callback. Oh right, maybe, yeah, now I remember. Okay, it's slightly more tricky. You have both FRP keyboard and you have FRP chars. Let's see, chars? What was it called then? Chars? FRP chars. FRP chars. Okay. Now then. Still the same problem. Maybe we need both chars and keyboard. Let's see. No. What I want to happen is that when this callback happens, it should only use one of the callbacks. So if both my text editing area and another subscription runs push callback, it should only run one of them. But it seems to run both. That's a bit strange. I'm gonna try to call, yeah. I had to check here how the subscriptions look. So we have keyboard Oh, right. That's how I did it for keyword. Okay. We can fix that. We have to, for now I remember. So for mouse, this should work. Let's just try this. Mouse. Wasn't it mouse? Oh, now it works. What? Oh well. So if I click now, yeah, this is what I expected to happen. I click and the printing works, and now the clicks doesn't get sent to the text area, so you can't move the mouse anymore. That's not very helpful. So the way we do it for the keyboard, now I remember, is that the key presses are sent to the component that is in focus. So we don't even need this part, or rather not for the key callback. We need it for the mouse callback. So in this case, we can change it back like this. And instead, what we need to do is to somehow focus. Let's see, I have to double check again. How did the focus thing work? Right. So focus will call on event on the thing that is focused. So instead we do a thing, def thing, a table called on event. This should work. Yeah, cool. And this. So yeah, now we can focus like this. We take frp / focus 1, 2, 3. That should be renamed. Unknown symbol focus 1, 2, 3. Is it in state? Oh yeah, there it is. So now we can put say let's focus thing instead. Oh right. Since this is a method, it takes self as well as the event. Let's try to load this again. Yeah. So now what? Now I try to focus this. Yeah, so now we finally end up where we wanted to end up. Now if I hit Control Enter here, the thing, this table, is focused instead. This means that if I hit buttons, it will just run the pretty print and not write them here. And then if I click on the if I click on the text area, then it focuses again and I can write. So what does this mean for our dear rectangle? This means that we, for example, could say if the mouse cursor is to the right, we focus this thing. So we could do this, for example, by, let's see, let's create a function. Let's create a function that says focus right part, and that would take an event. We say, let's start with pretty printing the event, and then we use our frp subscribe function, and we subscribe to the mouse and call focus right part. Load it. Now if I click, I have the pretty printing. Oh, right. here's another thing. Now when subscribing, it will check if focus-right part is already added. The problem is each time we run var fn here, it will create a new object. In order to avoid this, we'll create a table instead, which will be the same object, and then just replace the onEvent part. To do this, we use def1s, focus right part. So here we create a table. Yeah, nice. Remove this for now. Now, if regardless of how many times I run load file, this will be the same object. So no new objects will be created. And this is what we want if we want to add a single subscription. So instead, yeah, now we focus right part. Now we need to restart because I have no way to reset the subscriptions. There we go. Load file again. Now it complains. This focus right part doesn't have an onEvent method. And to clarify a bit, you can subscribe using both a function or a table. But if it's a table, it wants to have an onEvent method. So if we were to write onEvent here and load again, it would not run this part because focus right part is already defined. So the way we do it so that we can modify this table in order to do live coding, like reloading the code and keeping the parts we want to keep, like this object, but replacing things like the methods of the object. The easiest way to do this is to do merge into focus right part, and then we add the method. So here we do onEvent. We can do this self event and then pretty print the event. And now even if I load many times, it doesn't do anything, but I'm able to modify this function, load again, and now nothing happens. Okay, so those were a lot of steps to get to this point. The goal is to let you only write this part and the subscription. And now that we have the subscribe function, at least, that will be a bit easier for you to do. Anyway, let's get to it. Now we have the event, we listen to the mouse, we can also listen to, let's see. We don't even need to listen, that's true. If we focus, we automatically listen. So what we can do, oh right, now I remember. Here, if the, let's do it like this, we can do if first, or let's say EV0, if that's equal to press and get in event second position first, that would be the X position. If that is greater than or equal to 800, if we do this then with pp load, oh wait, now it's in the and thing, so let's do this. So now no pretty printing here, but if we click here, we get pretty printing. Nice. So last step then. If we click over here, then we put focus on self like this. So instead of focusing on thing, we focus on self. Load. This looks okay, and we can write. But if I click here and now write, it's finally working as expected. So now the problem is that this runs all the time, so even if I hit A, it will still move the box. So what we need to do is move this away, and then here we change this from if to cond, and here we can see like if no clauses are matching, like if it's not a key press, we load, and now I hit a button. Oh, all right, and then I focus. So now this is focused. I think we'll do it like this to make it more clear that it's focusing to the right. So we say when state slash focus 1, 2, 3 focus, and this is equal to focus right part. Then we draw a rectangle like this. Draw rectangle rec x or 800 y 0, maybe 30, just to not go into the menu, and then doesn't matter, we go outside the screen, it's fine. And then let's say what color we want. Let's say a reddish color, and maybe pretty weak alpha like this. Then we load, and now if this part is focused, we get a background. It looks terrible. Let's not do that. Maybe some bluish instead. Maybe a bit too strong. Okay. Or maybe... Alright. I don't know. Okay, this is okay. So, now we see when we focus the right part. So, if I focus the right part now and hit a button, it will send events. It will send key events to the thing that is focused. So now we get the keys into here, and EV will be the key. And since EV0 isn't press when it's a key, it's key down or char instead. So now we can instead do if EV0 is equal to what did it say? Key down, key down. Then we can print the event, and let's remove this one. So it won't do anything if it doesn't match. So now we get the keys, and now we say we can say case EV1 A, and now we do the plus x10. Load file. If I hit A now, nothing happens there. If I click here and press A, it moves. Nice. As you can see, it stutters a bit because it doesn't do it until key repeat. This we can solve by adding a velocity here. But we won't do that right now because this is not the goal of what I'm going to do today. Okay, so, one last step we can do is that drawing, or wait a second. Maybe this is fine for now. You can put drawing into the event system as well, but this works for now, so never mind that. And that's something that might be worth knowing, that you can always stick with the draw frame stuff if you want to. And hook into the event system once you realize like, oh wait, but it's acting so strange with the key buttons. Then you can put some part into the on event stuff. But you don't have to. Okay, so I'm gonna take a short break, drink some water, and then we'll continue with what I was actually supposed to do. Be right back. Okay, let's continue. So, first of all, I realized I might be able to subscribe like this to FRP. I think it might be render, or maybe frame. Nope. Okay, let's see what it was then. It is... Oh. Frame shot. Okay. So, we try to subscribe to frame shot instead. Frame shot. Was it state? What? Frame shot? FRP frame shot. FRP frame shot. Oh, okay. So we do have frame shot, but it wants an iterable type, focus right part. Wait, what? Subscribe. Got mail. I'm very confused. Why doesn't frame shot work? If I do this then. Oops. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, let's check in FRP then. FRP 4, and then we search for frame sham. Oh, it's definitely there. Why doesn't frame sham work? Oh, right, now I remember. It's in finally, not in depths. Okay, then let's see. Let's add another one. And instead of depths, we do finally. Finally are things that will only run once, regardless of how many events were emitted. Or rather once per resolution. So this is useful for rendering, for example. You don't want to render like 2 times in a single frame. That doesn't make any sense. So we say subscribe finally. Subscribes creates a regular subscription. This creates a finally subscription. These words aren't really clear, so I need to figure out the terminology. Let's see, does it work now then? Frame sham. Yes, now frame sham. What? Subscribe finally. Is this work? Got tuple. Oh, let's see. We can't push to a tuple, so I've accidentally made frame sham a tuple, and it should be an array, of course. There we go. Now, maybe? Yes. Now it seems to work. So what I wanted to do is to just move the rendering into the table. So let's see. Now let the print. I would have thought the event would end up here. Hello? Oh, that works. That's what I wanted. So why doesn't... Oh, yes, I need to print the event, of course. There we go. Okay, so now we can add another class here. So we do eve0. When eve0 is equal to delta time, then we run draw on self with ev1, which would be the delta time. And now we can move the draw thing here. Let's see. Like this, load. 2 arguments. Oh, right, self. There we go. I'm gonna move this like this and do this and this. Load, remove that part. Okay, there we go. And I can move, let's put X as a part of this thing. X 800. And then we say update self X plus 10. Load. This doesn't do anything, but if we click here, it still doesn't do anything, and that's because this needs to look at self X instead. Oh, now we got 2 rendering things, so then we restart. And since this is Janet, it doesn't take any time, unlike other Lisps that I like. Let's see. Okay, now we are where I wanted you to be. So, if you thought the stuff up until now was more like internal stuff that you probably shouldn't have to care about. So what I wanted to give you was something more like this. So let's go through what we have here. I don't think we need state. Yeah. We import FRP, which is how we hook into the events. We define a table that we want to be able to like modify in order to enable us to live code. So we use def once to get a single table. Then we do the actual code we care about. And we also subscribe. I guess we could put the subscriptions over here. Doesn't matter really. So we define a table once, and it will always be the same table, no matter how many times we reload the code. And then we say that we want to subscribe to the mouse and the frame channel. The mouse pushes events whenever we click, and frame channel pushes events when it's time to render something. Then we get to the actual code. So we have some state here. We can use this like a normal table. So this is just some state. Then we have our drawing function, and since this is a method, it needs self, and it gets delta time as argument. Then we draw the background if, oh right, this should be self. If self is focused, then we draw the background. And we always draw the green rectangle. And then we have the on event handler. This looks a bit messy. I think I'm gonna do it like this. I wanted to start with an if statement and then con to make it a bit clearer. But now when it's growing, it looks a bit ugly, and we can see we have ev0 all over the place. So we instead do case ev0, and then we have press, and then we do a when. Let's see. There we go, and then we do it for key down, and delta time. Cool. We could even use match, but for now I think this looks nice. So we have case or event, and then press, key down, and delta time. Okay. So what is it that I actually want to do? So the thing is, when one of the nice things with working with a Lisp is that all data is very easy to transform to text. So for example, we can add a comment block here and just write like focus right part. And I'm gonna rename this to component. Oops, component. Component. I haven't implemented find and replace yet. Component, load file, nice. Now we get two thingies, so I'm gonna restart this for now and load file. On event. Is it too quick? Oh, I see. I did use state after all. Okay, now it works again. Currently, some stuff can, how to put it, it can be, you can get some stale like binding. So in this case, despite removing the import, I still had the state focus like in my environment. This is something I plan on reworking so that the environment is a bit more fresh. But for now, this works. It doesn't take too long to restart. So now, we can easily represent this table as, or at least the parts of it as text. So if I just evaluate this component, we see all it contains. Functions are not printed that nicely, but at least state is. And it's pretty common that you can get some crazy nested state. Like here's a global variable which has a lot of stuff in it. So what I want to do is to create some way to make it a bit easier to get an overview of this crazy state. Because it's important to be able to look at like what data you have. So instead of printing this green rectangle, I want to start printing some lines of text which represent a table. So let's do this. I'm gonna do a var looking at EB data. Or let's keep it simple for we can just do something like this. And then we want to loop over this looking at thing. So we do key value pairs looking at. And let's start with just printing the keys. And we get the keys, which is just X. If I were to add Y here, we would get X and Y. Oh, we can keep Y there. But since this is like a graphical thingy, the whole point of Freja is to be able to not have to depend on a terminal, but create graphics in any way you like. So let's draw this inside the editor instead. And then we have draw, let's see, one can draw text in different ways. So let's look at the cheat sheet again and see. Draw text. Here, we can try this one. This will use Raylib's built-in font. We can, or let's see, maybe I realize now that I might have overwritten the function. No, it's the right one. Let's stop. Wait. We're gonna. Oh, whoops. There, no more printing. So let's draw some text. We can write the key, string key, and then we'll see what we needed. We needed position X, so let's say 800, position Y 300, font size, and color. What should we take? We do, and then just a slightly faded black. And this didn't work. Why didn't it? Compile error. Oh, draw text. This. Okay, this looks really weird. What? Oh, of course, it draws both X and Y in the same position. So let's do this then. I'm gonna do I range from 0 to length of looking at. I think this works. Yeah. So this is a nice thing. If I wonder about some variable, I can just evaluate functions on it by hitting Control Enter. It checks the S expression from the point of the cursor back to here. I could evaluate this too, and I get a tuple with 0 and the length, and so on. Anyway, so now we do the index instead. So we do let key value and write this. Let's see. What did I do? Oh, one too few. What happened now? Oh, this isn't quite right. I guess I would have to do something like this. Okay, keys looking at. There we go. And then the values then would be looking at the but I guess this wouldn't be sorted. Maybe we can sort it. Yeah, let's sort it for now. I realize I'm doing this all wrong too. But I think this will be okay for now. Let's see. V looking at K. Okay, so let's see. Oh, let's do this instead. We don't need to run keys every frame. We can do this. Let keys be sorted keys of looking at. Now we learn. This looks better. Now it's still like this, but let's fix this by setting Y to be 300 plus I times, let's say 24. And do this. There we go. So we make the Y position dependent on the index of the thing we're looking at. And let's move this up a bit. Maybe like, whoops, like this. I think this is a good start. Now, we can also measure this text. Let's see. Because we want to draw, now we want to draw the value as well, right? And we could start by doing something like this. String value and just add some to the X. And this looks all right. That's kind of cool. But, oh wait, I'm gonna see. the font size might look better. It looks a bit scaled. It would be nice if the font size was like perfect. Oh, right, maybe it's loaded. The font might be loaded at a specific size. We'll have to live with this for now. You can load fonts in a way that makes them look a bit better, but we'll do this for now. Okay, so this is okay, but if we make a bigger key like hello there, fine person, and load, the key doesn't look very nice. So we need to add something. And this something is, we can call this maybe value offset. Or maybe it's x. V x of v. So xv should be the like 800 plus the width of this of the string k. So we need to measure string k. And I think we could just do this. No, I think I might have overwritten that one. That's not very good. Can I do this? Let's see. Can I import Raylib as j? I think so. Let's remove this. Oh. Macro expected 22. Oh wait, there we go. Now let's see. I think we can do j/measure text. Yes. Okay. And we're just gonna try if this works on anything. No, right. We need the size. So the size. Let's put font size like this because it's too messy. The font size for font size, font size, right. Size, and load again. That works. Does this work? Yes, it works. Cool. So instead of that, we say string k. Maybe we don't want to turn. Let's leave it like that. Load. And now the xv. Oh, we add 800 twice. Let's do this instead. There we go. A bit too close. So let's add a bit of offset. So this looks better. But yeah, this looks better. Next step then is that if we have perhaps a table in a table, so we say table, and here we have another thing, very much data. Yes, load this. Now we get table like that. That's not what we want. We would rather, or rather maybe that is what we want. We can keep it like this, like right now. And what I would like to be able to do is to be able to click this and then enter this new table. So in this case, that would amount to change what looking at is looking at. So first we need to like be able to click stuff. We could do this in a bit of an ugly way, like do it in the drawing thingy, I think. Wait a second. Or maybe not. Like it would be cleanest if we could get like the positions of each thing using the same loop. Let's see. For now, I'll just copy paste this, and then we'll say a handle click fn self event and pretty print event, and then on press we want to self, oh wait, handle click self event. There we go. So now we can press, and this background looks a bit strange now. Let's do it like this and make it disappear. Disappear more, like that. That's okay. So now we print when we click here, but we don't just want to print. We'll take the same loop for now. I'll probably regret that, but it's okay. So now we say, like, if, let's see, the mouse pos here is like press pos, or rather this is the event. So we say when event is press, then we do this stuff. There. Match error. Oh, we need another thing. Here we go. Okay. Whew. So now the position. I wonder if I can do this as well. X, Y. Seems like it. Print X. X, Y. Yeah, cool. So now we want to do it like this. If let's call it mx and my. If my, let's see, if my is greater than y and my is lesser than the height. What did we say the height was? Oh, I guess 28 is the height. So plus y plus age 28. Now we see why I will regret copy pasting this loop, because now we don't have age up here. We'll take that a bit later. So, and we don't need if, we can do when. So essentially when the mouse cursor is between the top of a row and the bottom of a row, then we print something. And we can print the key instead. There we go. So now it says hello there fine person, and here's the table, and here's y. So now if this is a table, like when table, I think this is a function. When table v, I'm gonna check something. Oh, never mind. When table v, then we print. So we won't print now, but if I click here, it will print. Nice. So if I click a table, then we set looking at I realize maybe I don't want to do this in the loop. Let's do it like this. Var change nil. Change to set change to the value, and then after the loop is done with, we do set when change to set looking at change to. And we do this because we don't want to change looking at while we're looping. Now we do load, and if I click here, nothing happens, but if I click here, yay, we look at the change to thing. But maybe we want to go back, so we'll add some to here, like this, and then the first thing we do is just print like a back thing, maybe like a little arrow, position 40, yes, something like this, back. That looks okay. And now, of course, we need to change this thing. So Y80. Let's copy this H thing too. Is H just used there? Yeah, maybe. Okay, now I think this works again. Yeah, so let's create a stack like where we have been. So we say def stack. This is a table thing. And whenever we enter something, like when we change what we're looking at, we say array push stack what we were looking at. Like this, and I think this is okay. Then we want to add something when we click to, like when y is about 40, like this. When y is above 40 and below 40 plus h. Let's see what it is complaining about. Here we go. This means we're pressing back, I think. Almost symbol h. Oh, so we could just put h here instead. Def h there, and then we can remove this. Now we can load. Nice. So if I hit here, it says back. That's great. So now if we hit back, and let's do this if, so we don't do the rest of the stuff like this. So if we press back, it won't do the looping here. That's very nice. So when we click back, we want to pop the stack. And I think we have array pop. Yes, array pop stack. And I would hope this would give us something. It gives us something. So then we set looking at to the pop. Or I guess when there is something to pop. When let the array pop stack. So when there is something to pop, we set looking at to v. Load. Nice. Now we can start traversing our data structures. One exercise that I will leave to you. Oh, okay, 2 exercises is that if the stack is empty, don't show the back thing. And the table thing here, it would be nice if it showed like a small preview of this thing. So for example, you could use string format and take a certain amount of characters. And just show like if this is a super small table, maybe it doesn't make sense to maybe it doesn't make sense to show table like this. And this is just to shoot myself in the foot, but I'm gonna try looking at GB data. I think this is gonna lag, but we'll try. Okay, it seems to work. Oh yeah, you would need to add scrolling here as well, but that's just another event you can listen to. Anyway, now we can look at maybe binds. Control. Oh, so now we can see the bindings. This is pretty nice. So if you were wondering what binds you have, you can look up your binds here. So you can see that Control F is bound to search to. Okay, so I think that will be all for now. I'm gonna put this code on GitHub, and you'll be able to try this out for yourself if you want to. You can make modifications to this data viewer thing. And if you find any bugs or whatever with Freja, please create an issue on Freja's GitHub or contact me on Janet's Gitter, where I'm pretty active. That's all for this time. Thank you so much for looking at this, and have a nice day.